Hi, my friend. It's Pat Sloan here for Block Wednesday. Yes, great day of the week this Wednesday is. And so home is our block a week. That's the name of the quilt for this segment of that we're doing for this one. And home is the block is man's best friend. Now we know what that means. That means our lovable, adorable pets. Yes. So here is my block. Let me just show you the whole block here. Get it all in. This is a bigger block today. Okay, we got him in there. And the doggy, there's also a cat version. So if you are a dog or a cat person, you can applique on there the love of your life. And if you have another kind of pet, maybe you can find a shape for that, or you can just leave it off. So first, let me just tell you about me and pets, how pets happen in my life. I grew up in a family where my parents were not really that keen on animals, so that wasn't their thing. So we had some random goldfish as a little girl, and a turtle maybe. Then when I was in 5th grade, my 5th grade teacher, we had hamsters in the classroom. So the classroom had several hamster cages, and every weekend somebody got to take a hamster home, to babysit it, I guess. I don't know. So we would, so randomly I would get to take the hamsters home. Well, I wanted a hamster very badly. And at the end of the school year, this teacher wrote notes to probably many parents. I know he wrote one to mine saying that I would really like to have a hamster and I would be a good caretaker for the hamster. So in came Janice. Janice the hamster came into my life. So I had a hamster, and then they don't live very long. So when she passed away, we got Sam the hamster, and so I had Sam for a while. Fast forward, I did not have any more pets until until I was an adult, way into adulthood. But I didn't have much exposure to dogs, dog owners or cat owners even. Most of my friends didn't have pets. I did have one friend that had dogs, but I wasn't that into them then. But when I met Greg, his family is dog people. They were dog people. They've always had a dog. So I met Baby, the black lab, and she stole my heart. And from then on, I wanted dogs. So we eventually, I eventually decided we were going to have dogs and enlisted my mother-in-law to help me get my first dog. And my first dog looked very much like this silhouette. He was a mutt, and his name was Ted. And then we also had Brandy, the chocolate lab. So that was my foray into pets. We didn't have any more after those two. We started traveling for our business, and so that was a good time to take a pet break. So right now I have no pets, which is fine. I enjoyed them very much when I had them. So the block has this applique, and I want to show you the stitching. Oh, first let me just show you the fabric. So I remembered this is why you buy fun fabric. I remember I had this window print, which you can still get some if you need it. Of course you need it. And I thought that is just perfect. Perfect to have the window in the middle. This is a variation of a log cabin. It's a big block. It is 16 finished square. And it's done in sort of a courthouse steps where it's dark on one side and light on the other. You can make them all the same fabric, or like I did, I made them all different fabrics. So this was the center I found. And then, let's come down here. And then what I did was take the grays and one light, and I just made a variation here. So I thought, okay, I like that variation because I did want the light in there, but I didn't want it, I could have put it first, but I ended up putting it out on third. And then for the dark, same thing. I got the fabrics, and then this is a directional. So I wanted this to be so that we get the loops going in the proper direction. The directional fabric has a proper direction. So that would be the dark side of the block. Now, the applique, let me pull this up a bit. It's a big block. I can't get all of us in the picture, and I can't move my camera back anymore. So here we go. Whoop! I knew that was going to happen. Got it off the edge here. All right. You can see this on the website too. I have this part here. Let me just pick this up. All right, so you can see the dog. The dog has the tail, so that's why you can tell that it is already reversed for you. So this is reversed for fusible applique or any applique method you are using where the image is reversed. There are some hand applique methods where you're prepping the shapes and your image is reversed. But fusible, it is always reversed, so that when you put it down, he's actually going this way, which is what you see. And so the shape is already done for you. The cat is the same. The cat is also reversed. So you're going to make that today, and I want to show you 2 ways that you could stitch around the shape. First, we'll look at the one that's here, because this is my go-to, and you want to use my applique book that'll give you all the step-by-step pictures so that you can do this yourself very easily. So I used a blanket stitch. Get right down in there. There you go. You can see the blanket stitch. So you will be stitching along, your straight part of your stitch will go, where we go? Okay, the straight part of your stitch is in the background, and then you take a bite into the shape. Straight stitch, bite, straight stitch, bite. So that is the stitch that I used. But you can also do a straight stitch, so if you don't want to do the blanket stitch. And I've got, here we go. So the straight stitch, you might think that it's oh so much easier. Well, give it a try, see what you think. It's a little more straightforward, but I wouldn't necessarily say that it's so much easier. You still have to have control when you're doing a straight stitch. You can't just sort of zoom around blindly, or you will fall off the edge or get too close to the edge. So I left the tails here. Here's one tip when you're doing applique. Start in a straightaway, somewhere where you're sewing straight. Don't start in a point. Don't start in a point, like an inner piece like that. Always start like where there's a straightaway so you can have control over what you're doing. I want to show you one place where I fell off the edge. I wanted to show you an example of that. That's what's called teaching, a teaching experience. So here, when you're coming around curves, this is the time when you might be, if you're not paying attention, you might all of a sudden get too close to the edge. So my stitching went right out to the edge and I had to come back in. Now that, if you're just doing like this, like a little pillow or a little wall hanging, but if you're doing anything that's going to be washed, this will lift up after a few washes, and then you will start to fray on the edge there because you don't actually have any stitching. You didn't stitch it down. You went over it, there's a gap right there. So that is something to think about when you're doing any kind of the stitching. Let's see if I can get that to focus. There we go. So here we go. This little guy was done with straight stitch. The whole thing is a straight stitch. This is my Morrison Park fabric. Doesn't he look gorgeous, like sitting in the garden? And if you know puppies, oh my goodness, having one sit in your garden might not be so good if he starts digging. But I don't know, I might make a little pillow out of this guy because I think he's so cute. In blue, cute in blue. All right. So I want to switch gears now. So you're going to make that today. And then if you want, you can show your block on the Facebook group with your pet. Wouldn't that be cute? Like hold your block up with your favorite companion today. Also show you that I switched, if you were paying attention to my elephants and gave me an opinion on switching them around. I played around again and just maneuvered a few of them, switched a few of them, and if you do one, then you end up having to do about 5 or 6 because 2 of them get too close, and then you're like, no, I don't like that, and you move them, move them, move them. So at some point you have to go like, cut it off, not going to move anymore. So that's the point I'm at now. I'm like happy with this. And so I will start doing the sashing between the elephants, and then I will go remeasure my wall upstairs for the distance between each row, so that I know, because I think I need to make them a little wider than Wendy's pattern, because I need to fill the space. Either that or I'll make a rim around it, something like that. So I have to look at that a little bit and be sure once I get all 3 rows done. So that'll be what I'll be doing in the next this few days as I'm sewing other things. Plus, I have a link below that you need to go over, and here's a picture to show you, because Wendy's daughter, Gwendolyn wrote a poem about elephants. And so she is a young girl. She's a young girl, and so you will really enjoy her poem. She does cross stitch and all kinds of fun things. Wendy has her being very creative all the time. So Gwendolyn's poem, you can click the link below over to Wendy's post and read the elephant poem. I like it. I like it. I like it. All right. One last thing here that I did while I was making our best friend block. There we go. While I was making our best friend block, I decided I need to sew something, a start and an end as I was feeding these strips in. That's what I like to do. So I got these sewn together. Remember I had those up on my wall? These were, I don't even remember what block this was from or what project this was from. They're done in my Bonnie Lane fabric. And so I need to go back and look. I think they may have been from the charity quilt last year. I don't know. If you know, leave me a comment so I don't have to go look, but I'm gonna have to go look. So I have 2 of them. So now I have to decide, do I want them to be pillows, or do I want to put like a this charcoal color spacer, and then make it like a table runner? So I just do like charcoal on either end and one in the middle, so it'll stretch it out to a table runner size. It doesn't even have to be a real long table runner, because I could put it on my dining room table. My dining room table is round, but I do find that a long runner, or not too long, but it's nice because I put a big bowl in the middle of the table, and then this could stick out. So I got those done, which I was like, yeah, because I really didn't think I was going to do anything with those. I was planning to put them back in the basket of loose blocks. That was the original plan. But now I have 2 blocks. So either I can put those in there, or I can make a table runner. Vote, everybody vote. What should it be? All right, my friend, you are ready to make your best friend block today. Can't wait to see yours. And if you like that fabric, the link is down below. It is also at my website. So in the first comment here at YouTube, it links over to my website. And then if you don't want to do the applique, you can just do the block. And then there's a cat in the pattern as well. So there you go. It's Wednesday. Thank you for being here. Thank you for using my links to help support our small family business. I love you. Mwah. See you online.